I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get... Hi friends, welcome back to Wilder Possibilities. I have my dear friend, Dr. Ryan Green from Monarch here, and I am so excited for y'all to hear about Monarch. I love it. I go. It's this concierge special Dr. Jim, all health related, everything together, nutritionalist, PT, right?
Everything.
All the things.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, all in one. And I'm obsessed. I made Clark go. I told Clark, I said, well, this is my insurance policy on you. I'm like, I need you to live a long time.
Yep.
I love my husband. He's the GOAT. He's the best dad to ever live. And I'm like, you got to go. You got to work out.
Yeah.
So, and I've been loving it and got to be using my muscles and like lifting weights that I've been never doing my whole life. So anyway, Dr. Green's here, and I don't want to just talk about Monarch. I am here on the podcast to talk about your whole history, where you're from, the whole thing,
Sure.
and when did you get your click? Like you might have had multiple clicks in your life, but the click of like when to start Monarch. Okay.
Yeah. So I've had multiple clicks, and I think they're all important. So
Oh, good.
and I'll tell you why. So I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
A town called Wheaton, Illinois. Great, idyllic childhood. Parents both had great jobs. And then, like, as you look back and realize like where I got my work ethic from, like my mom would get up and run, take the 6 a.m. train to Chicago, take the 5:04 back. My dad would, pick my sister and I up from wherever we were at. We'd go meet my mom at the train. She did that for 30 something years, like insane.
What did she do?
She was a VP of commercial lending for BMO Harris Bank. So,
Wow.
want to like get into my mom. Grew up in a super small town, central Illinois, never left the tri-state area. And then, in college, University of Illinois, she studied abroad in France. So the first time she ever left the country.
Yes.
The only reason she got the job with BMO Harris Bank is because she spoke French and they needed someone to go to Toronto. So, if you've learned anything about me, like synchronicities is the way the universe works. So like everything happens for a reason. And
Yeah.
but for me, that meant, growing up, she was downtown, and like little things that I now know, like with Monarch, like talking about food and nutrition, like I had sloppy joes, I had tacos, I had crock pot, like that was it. But like she was gone all day. Like, what did you expect? She did the best she could. But grew up, great schools, great town, kind of in like the founder's journey, which I'm obsessed with the stories of like,
That's why I do this.
yeah, like of people that have done really cool things. And one of the things I always like compare and contrast, which I know is not the best practice, but I'm like, I didn't really have a lot of adversity growing up. Like my parents were tough. They were definitely not giving me anything. Everything that I had, I earned. But also like, if I needed something, like we weren't scraping together pennies. So like, I had a great opportunity to grow up in a really cool town, and then went to University of Illinois, and I was into science, I was into math, and this was my first click. During the summers when I was out of school, I was working at a golf course, caddying, managing this golf course for kids. And one day, this young 7-year-old, his buddy was taking a practice swing. His friend was trying to pick something up off the ground, and club meets forehead.
No.
Yep. And his friend ran inside, was like, so-and-so's hurt. And my thought is like, these kids have like Skittles all over their fingers. They probably got like stung by a bee and like he's freaking out. It was not that. Like this poor kid had a dent in his forehead where you could like basically see his brain. And that was my first click, which was like, okay, how do you fix this? Like, what are the next steps? So from there, I just started taking any internship, any volunteer position in a hospital I could, because I was like, this resonates. Like I've caddied for 1,000 people by that point in my life. And I'm like, no one's job really sounds that interesting. Like, do I want to be in logistics, or do I want to be in manufacturing, or like even real estate? I was like,
No.
like, did I really grow up to like sell houses? No offense, but like that wasn't my calling.
No.
And so that was click number one. And then once
Was the kid okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
God.
he was great.
I'm glad. I was like so stressed.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't have had a golf course just for kids 6 to 16. Like, something inevitably was going to go wrong.
I'm glad you were there.
Yeah, me too. And then when I got into college, I started engineering because my parents were like, have a fallback plan. If you're a biology major, you don't go to medical school, like you end up as a biology teacher. And I was like, all right, I'll do engineering.
Okay.
Whatever. That was the first time in my life where I really felt, I was like, I do not enjoy this whatsoever. Like, it's really hard. I have no passion for like theoretical and applied mechanics. Like, it's nothing I'm interested in. I wasn't a kid who was like breaking trucks down and building them back up. Like, that wasn't me. So that's when I shifted more into exercise physiology and science. And from that point, like, everything made sense, which was like, I want to help people move. I want to help people to live the best version of their existence. So went to medical school, did a surgical residency, because once you get into med school, there's only so many ways you can go. It's cardiology, it's emergency, it's surgery. Like, you can't go into medical school and be like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Like, that path doesn't exist. Like, you have to follow the traditional, well-trodden path. And then once you're done, if you want to become entrepreneurial, you could, but there's a reason why most physicians are not entrepreneurs, because they're so deep in debt and they're so far down the road. The best opportunity is work for a hospital system, because like, it's a job
and it's set up,
and like, that's what you're used to. And when I was in fellowship, so I was at Mayo Clinic for a fellowship, and that's where click number 2 happened, which led to Monarch. Because to be honest, I was so depressed. I was like, I do not want to be in a hospital system. Like, no one's getting better. Like, I'm fixing a problem, but inevitably they're going to come back, because at the root of it, everything we talk about, they have terrible sleep, they eat terrible food, they don't exercise, they never get their blood work done. So we can't tell if they're developing diabetes, heart disease, hormone issues, whatever. And they just show up in the hospital, they're like, please fix me. And you're like, I'll do what I can, but then I got to get you out at the door, because truthfully, the hospital is a business. They don't want you hanging out and like talking about anything else other than your problem.
Yeah.
So I went to Mall of America one weekend because I had nothing else to do. And I was just like, I got to leave my apartment. By the way, I'm sleeping on a mattress on the floor. I unpacked nothing. At that point, I need my parents' help, because I got paid minimum wage as a fellow at Mayo Clinic. No fault to them. Like, it is what it is. That's how the system works.
Wow.
But I'm like, this is not what I thought life was going to look like, especially being a physician. And that's where the second evolution came, because I got there and I'm like, oh my God, I get it. Like, these places do well, because at the end of the day, humans want to be efficient. So if you can put everything someone wants in one place, people will go and they will spend a lot of time.
Oh, you mean the mall?
Mall of America, right?
That was your click, going to the mall.
Yeah, and I was just like, why don't we do this with health? Like, why do I have to go to this place for the gym? And then if I want to do recovery, like, I got to have a membership over here. By the way, as a physician, I know a lot about health. Like, none of these people are even asking, like, what should this person be doing? Like, they're all operating independently.
Yeah, they're not connecting.
And that's not how the human body works. Like, yes, we have independent parts, but everything's communicating with everything else. Like, what people don't understand about the human body is like, it's genetics and blah, blah, blah. A gene is literally just a script that is waiting to be told what it needs to make or what it should not make. So your environment, like what's happening around you, what's happening in between the systems, whether that's mind, body, or spirit, that's going to dictate your quality of life. So all those things kind of came together at one time, oddly enough, at a place that's like the opposite of health, which was a giant mall.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was like, okay, I think there's something here. So I had plenty of time on my hands. So I had no friends in Minnesota. And that's the other part about medicine is like, you go to med school for a couple of years, you go to residency for a couple of years, you go to fellowship, and everyone's moving around the country. Like, it's really hard to maintain a sense of community because you're not sticking around 20 years. Like,
and then if you're there, you're like, well, I don't want to really make friends because I'm going to leave again.
everyone, yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to date because like it just gets difficult because if they want to do a fellowship somewhere else, now you're like, I'm long distance.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was really, really lonely. And so I just took the time that I had to basically develop this idea for what is, an integrated health and wellness concept. I said, I'm pretty convinced if people have a place to move their body, build strength and muscle, pay attention to what they eat, or at least get guidance, they can focus on basic metabolic health, heart disease, diabetes, hormones, which is where the medicine comes in. And then also have a sense of community, like a place where you enjoy going and you actually have connections with other people. I'm pretty sure we can help, a lot of people lead very meaningful, long lives. So, I'm fortunate that while I was at Mayo Clinic, a friend of mine connected me to my now business partners who had like an adjacent idea of kind of like a higher end training club, like a gamers club. And they're restaurateurs. They're all about fine dining and experience. So I was able to kind of open their eyes to the fact that like the future of at least the US health system is going to have to be this integrated approach. And I think it's going to be the global health approach, but they had the capital, and I had the idea. So we blended it together.
Oh yeah.
In 2020, we opened our West Hollywood location. Synchronicity, the pandemic hit, we were considered a medical facility, so we got to stay open. And that's the only reason that we opened up Brentwood in 23 is we're like, we've been able to continue to grow when everyone else had to stop.
Oh my gosh.
You can't plan for that. Yeah. I mean, that's divine intervention. No questions.
For sure.
So, I mean.
Wait, when in 2020 did
we
you
opened
open?
January of 2020.
No, be quiet.
January 6th, 2020.
Oh God. And then it shut down.
March 13th.
Yeah.
Because my birthday was March 12th.
You were like, oh,
the
cool.
next day, everything was like, we're locking this stuff down.
But everybody, we could
stay open. Yeah, we were the only legally operating health and wellness concept.
Wow.
In Los Angeles, at least. Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we, it was definitely odd because half our members were like, I never want to wear a mask. The other half were like, don't even think of me coming here if not everyone's wearing a mask. It was a real interesting time. Talk about stress. Like,
that is so stressful.
And you got, our membership price point for the value, it's extremely high, but off the top, like if you look at it, $1,500, you're like, okay, that's expensive. So yeah, we had some definitely opinionated, affluent people that were on polar opposites. So
oh my gosh.
About 2.5 to 3 years, like every day I was like, who's going to have an issue with their masks down under their nose? And then that person starts yelling at that person. It was wild.
It was like that?
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was nuts. We tried to get people that like we knew were like full maskers to come at a certain time and then like we tried.
What?
We had like a Slack channel, which was like, so-and-so's coming in, make sure everyone has their masks up. Like it was crazy. So you can't operate.
Was there an outdoor area too? Because I haven't been to the West Hollywood.
So we do have an outdoor space. It's small, but most people wanted to be inside because everyone was afraid that being outside they were going to catch COVID. So it was pretty wild.
Now we think of it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wow.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Definitely nuts. So yeah,
But you still stayed open and you still had members.
Yeah, we kept growing, although slower than we initially anticipated, but at least we were in existence, which I'm fortunate that happened. And then in April of 23, we opened our Brentwood Club, which you are a member at.
Yes.
And it's been doing extremely well. Like it's clearly, resonating with at least the Brentwood population. And our model's never been something where we in the fitness industry, it's called a breakage model, like Planet Fitness, 24-hour, Equinox even. They want as many members as they can have, recognizing that not a lot of people are going to use it.
Yeah, because they hope that people don't come.
Correct.
That's the thing.
That is the
breakage model.
That is the antithesis of what we want to be, which is why we keep our clubs smaller. One, because it's easier to manage a population of around 300 to 400 people.
Is that how many are allowed?
That's the goal. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at about 300 right now. So
in Brentwood.
We'll try to see what we can do, like squeezing more in, but it's all about space,
Yeah.
So Yeah, but for me, like I understand, and there's a really good book called Sapiens. It's called Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they just talk about that, like cultures that thrived throughout human history tended to be around like 300 people. It's enough where like, you can take care of each other, but not so big that like resources become an issue. And so I took that idea. I was like, all right, well, we can probably open 5-10 clubs in LA, 5 to 10 in New York, a bunch in Miami, Dallas, Houston, Chicago, Seattle. Like there are pockets of people that will absolutely do this. And then we can also figure out how to scale into markets that are not LA and New York, because, our price point is predicated on the cost of rent and labor. So if you go into Raleigh, which
Charlotte, right?
Or Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look economically, like there's a lot of wealthy people there, but everything,
definitely go to Charlotte.
yeah, everything costs less. So like there's no limit to where we can go. The beauty of the model is we need 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. We don't need 100,000 square feet, which is really hard to find. And then, you're really just hoping you can get as many people to sign up and not use it, which to me is like the antithesis of health and wellness. Like health is about consistent, healthy behaviors compounded over time. It's not, I'm just a member of a gym, but I rarely go. Like that's not going to make
No, who even cares? See, the reason that we signed up, or that I came first, my friend Galit told me about it.
Yeah.
And I did the math of having a personal trainer come to my house, because I just showed you we have my own gym. We have an entire floor of my own gym that's very nice. But if you had a trainer come here, it's like $150 to $200 per time. And so I did the math and I was like, well, I could either do this 2 times a week, $200 a time. And so I get to train with the personal trainer 2 times a week, or I can do this for $1,700 and then get the doctor, then get the nutritionalist, PT, physical therapy. I love Taylor. And then personal training 5 days a week.
Yeah. It's
so
great value.
It's really good value, because I am extremely disciplined. Like when I have to have someone that is keeping me accountable. If it's not accountable, I'm not just going to go down to my own gym and my own house, just walk down the stairs at 6 a.m.
So, I mean, look at what happened with Peloton. Like during the pandemic, like it exploded, but then the second that like people could
be out and about. Yeah.
No one wants to sit in, or no offense, like sitting in a room in your house, you're just like, I want to see, there's an energy. I want to be around other people.
Yeah.
I want someone to push me beyond what my brain's going to tell me that I'm going to do. And I think that's the intangible aspect of what we're doing, which is like people need people. You need you need
people.
Whether it's accountability or even it's just connection. Like, I can make myself laugh when I'm sitting all by myself, but like there's something about like telling your story about what you did on the weekend and like caring about other people, and that's not going to happen in isolation. Like healing has to happen in with context and community. And I think we've really missed the boat on that, because
in America.
Yeah, and even beyond, like the medical community used to be people that were like part of your neighborhood, part of your town. Like they were human beings that just happened to have a skill. Now, like you're not going to go see someone in a medical capacity unless something's gone wrong. And so immediately you're like, I already don't feel well. This is going to be an unpleasant experience. Like all these things, and it's just, like it's an adversarial relationship.
Oh,
like you go, I don't like how my doctor thinks. I want to do it this way, but all he's giving me is pills. They're always late. I never know what it's going to cost. Like we've really created kind of a toxic relationship.
That is true. I never know what's going to cost. You're like, oh my God, what kind of bill is going to be flying at me?
Yeah. And it's impossible to figure out why. Like you can't get a hold of anyone. So when we created the concept, I was just like, this is your fee. You get whatever you want. Use it as much as you want. Use it as little as you want. The people that use it more are going to do incredibly well.
Yeah.
And those that don't, you're going to continue to follow the path that you were already on, and you have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah. I mean, totally. And I'm not going to pay that and not go.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to have some skin in the game.
Obviously, like if we're out of town or something, but like we're signed up. Like I gotta go, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But some people sign up and still don't go. But I am going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are grateful that
I am. I like it. And you show up, and There's different trainers
Yes.
too. You don't always just, I mean, some people try to get the same ones over time, but I kind of don't care. Everybody's really good.
Yeah. So a couple things to that point. The whole goal with our system is that we wanted people to be able to drop into any club anywhere at any time and allow their health journey to be continued. What I mean by that is like, if you travel and you have a personal trainer, they're not coming with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we built the system, one, within a club, you can work with any coach. They know your program.
Because they have the program.
They have the program. So
Yeah.
someone has taken responsibility for Shelton's program, and our team communicates internally to make sure that things are progressing. Again, with 300 people, that's not that difficult when you have 20 trainers. Like it's a manageable number. But a front squat is a front squat, whether you're in LA or Miami or New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like any trainer worth his salt, if you were traveling, should be able to look at a program and be like, okay, I understand what Shelton's going to do today. I know what injuries she's coming in with. I understand adaptations. Like that's the quality of coach, one, that exists, and two, that like we've been able to recruit, because even the coaches want to be in an integrated ecosystem. They want to do something that allows their clients to actually get better, and just exercising is not going to do that. Like they need help from physical therapy from time to time. They need medical assistance. So we designed the system so that, one, you could use any coach or any medical practitioner in the club, but then also as we continue to grow and open up more clubs, your membership now is basically accessible at any of our other nodes. Which, as I was telling your husband, is like, I want Monarch to be the most valuable membership anyone could have, because it's going to keep you as the healthiest and best version of yourself for as long as you choose to participate.
Yeah.
And you've seen our clubs, like we're not an influencer and a model facility. Like there are late 20s to early 70s and every body type in between. The unique thread that, binds us all is no one wants to feel bad. So we don't really care whether you're who's been super active and has a great, training background, or you're 65 and you just retired and you're like, it's time for me to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Like the approach can be applied to everyone. But all of our staff has the ability and the capacity to like work with anyone. Because again, like there may be times where you want someone that's quiet, that's just going to like, push you. And there's other times where you're like, I like working with that person because we talk about Bravo or whatever, like, and that's also valid too. Like at least you showed up.
Yeah.
Number one.
There.
And, if you didn't do a Dr. Green style workout every single day, like that's fine, because that other piece, that connection piece, that's getting into like the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, which is like a very valid aspect of human health that we as a medical community have definitely overlooked, because we've basically said, well, if it's not measurable, it can't exist. And any human knows like emotions are very real.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in your external environment can definitely impact your, immediate physical environment. So, we wanted to be everything for a reason, meaning like no matter who you are, where you're coming from, what you want to achieve, we can help. But you do have to show up. It's like there's no magic pill.
You got to be there. And like, some weeks it's like you're female and it's your menstrual cycle. I mean, you'll feel different. And then you can tell your trainers that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, we can't today. Or I just need to stretch. Or I played tennis 5 times this week and
Totally.
my elbow hurts. And you can just tell them and they'll keep all your notes. And it's like really helpful.
Menopause too. Like we've, done a deep dive internally, acknowledging the fact that like half of our membership at a certain period of time, like your physiology is all of a sudden going to change.
For perimenopause and menopause.
Perimenopause and menopause.
Very,
that's a
real.
Multidisciplinary approach. That's hormone optimization, that's nutrition. But then also from a strength and conditioning standpoint, like your program needs to shift a little bit, because muscle mass strength and maintenance of that tissue becomes incredibly important if you want to avoid osteopenia and osteoporosis.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah.
And, Oprah just had a segment on what she's doing as she navigates menopause. And fortunately, she brought light to it, because now every woman like 45 and older is like, oh shit, like I haven't paid enough attention to lifting weights. Like I was.
And also, but she was on
She's got a lot.
She's on
Got a
the
lot of stuff. Yeah.
P1, and you have to be lifting weights if you're on that, or you are in very big trouble.
Very big trouble.
There's 30-year-olds that have osteoporosis because they're just taking the shots and not.
I mean, we have some female patients that like, they've done Pilates forever, they've done yoga forever, core strength, they're great, flexibility, they're great, but like, they're just too lean. And from a bone density standpoint, like they're already demonstrating signs that like within 10 to 20 years, like
having that.
Yeah. And it's hard to get back. It's hard to rebuild that.
So starting now, my dad, this is a big reason I kind of started, is I think he was 51 or 2. Mm-hmm. He's 77 now. He can do pull-ups. He was so fit.
It's amazing.
But he has had the same trainer, Michael, for 25 years now. And he told me, he's like, it's not days, it's not weeks, it's not even months, it's years.
Yes.
It's just forever. And I was like, well, if I got to go to this place forever, I was like, I want to
make it as easy as possible.
I want to be a part of it and, all of that. But it's, and then I saw him doing that, and it was really, inspiring. My dad's probably going to live to be like 110 or something. He's
Great.
Crazy fit. But I mean, it just is the lifting weights part that you can't get at the classes, like
definitely not.
You have to lift the weight.
And there's also, there's a principle that we employ. It's not unique to us by any means. It's just progressive overload. And what that means is like, you need to continually and progressively stress your system to the point where you're basically failing, because the human body responds to stress. Obviously, you can have too much stress, which can push you too far. Most people have too little stress, which is why they are not making consistent progress. So how can you progressively overload your system so you continue to incrementally improve strength, performance, muscle mass, energy, hormone optimization? Like the principle applies to all aspects of health. Really hard for someone that's in the general population, such as yourself or Clark. Like, that's not what you're educated on. So like, are you going to be able to build yourself a training program that you can do in your home gym?
No.
Where you're progressively increasing weight, rep schemes, work to rest ratio? Like, that's the beauty of the Monarch ecosystem, which is like, we have experts in every key area of, your health program. You literally just have to walk through the door. And as long as you walk through the door, you are probably going to put forth effort, because the energy is just great in the place. Mm-hmm. And then you will start to notice after a couple of weeks, like, oh, I have better energy, better mood, better disposition.
My tennis is better.
Your tennis is better. I can play better tennis for longer periods of time. Mm-hmm. Like, the human body is incredible. It's so resilient. It can recover from so many things. You have to continually tend to it, which is not like, again, if you treat your body like we treat everything else in the world, like, people will tend to their garden. They understand, like, you have to nurture, you have to do all this. Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't, to get metaphysical on you real quick, like, the crazy part about the human body is like, we are trillions of independent living organisms that happen to be working harmoniously, hopefully for our benefit. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you get into the world of like the soul and the spirit. But like, at the end of the day, skin cells are just skin cells. We just happen to have this cohesion and agreement amongst all these cells that like they're going to work together. But if the environment that you're surrounding yourself in, personal, professional, emotional, physical, is highly stressful, highly inflammatory, or even inconsistent, the body doesn't really know how to respond to that. And that's when you start to go down the path of, you've done this for 10, 20, 30 years, like, you are going to develop heart disease, you're going to develop diabetes, you're going to develop cancer. Like, there's a really good book by a physician named Gabor Mate called The Myth of Normal, where like, he basically is like, nothing that's happening in our world right now physiologically this is not normal. Like, the amount of autoimmune disease and like,
oh yeah,
think of how many kids that your kids' age have ADHD or allergies, or you're just like, when we were growing up, like,
we didn't even drink water.
Yeah, and like, none of us live it. And there's a ton of hypotheses, like, we used to play in the dirt, now everyone's like hyper sanitized, and like, there's a bunch of different things
or like drinking out of the hose.
Like, but one of the things he talks about is like, like there's a lot of literature that most physicians, myself, I definitely didn't know about it until I started like reading and looking into it. Like they've done studies looking at women and men with breast cancer and prostate cancer, and they're just like looking at their emotional state and looking at outcomes. And surprisingly, like people with a lot of trauma and a lot of stress,
Yeah.
you know, they do not do well. And those that are like, you know, a little bit more balanced, holistic in their approach, like have support community, like they tend to do a lot better. So that's like the next phase of Monarch, which is like, we're really good at the physical stuff right now, but that mental health, that emotional health, that connection and purpose as to like, all right, like you've built muscle, you're better at tennis now, like you don't have as much pain. Like now what? What's the next phase for Shelton? Is it, you know, getting better sleep, better emotional balance, less reliance on caffeine to get through your day? You know, like,
Yeah.
like those are the things that get, yeah, those are the things that get me excited because like, you know, at a certain point, especially with AI, I truly believe we are approaching a time where a lot of the menial tasks that occupy a lot of our minutes and hours will be automated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we're going to have to sit here and be like, okay, like, what am I doing here? Like, what's my purpose here? Like, what am I contributing to the greater good? And I think first it starts with like, well, if you're not healthy, you're going to be really upset with yourself. And then beyond that, it's like, okay, like what's the next phase of who I am as a person? Now I've got my health in order. Like, then what? Like, how do I be a better mom, a better dad, a better partner, but like whatever that looks like. And so I think for me, that's the interesting and exciting, like phase 2 of this, which is like, there's physical health, there's mental health. They can't be separated. But so many people are so far behind on the physical health side. But trying to tackle mental health is going to be a tough one too.
Because, I mean, when you're feeling better, though,
100%.
your head is a lot better. I mean, I think so much of depression is actually just feeling so shitty in your body.
Totally.
It's like not even.
As in you're not sleeping, you're not eating well.
Yeah. I mean, just even Clark is just like so.
It's been 6 weeks. He's
so much better. I'm like, oh my God, you got some arm muscles there. Look at that. And so, no, and it's helped me. And also having like a morning routine, I'm like, get up at 5:12 and, you know, you go do the things. But your personal self are on some other journeys. Do you want to talk about that?
Which one?
Other ones that you're.
My mushrooms?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And also the other things that don't you go to ayahuasca?
Yeah. No, it's all good. I'm not ashamed to talk about anything. So the reason I'm like so passionate about like kind of the mental, emotional, and spiritual side is like, you know, for me, meditation is movement. So I'm never going to compromise morning movement. That's my meditation.
What is your moving?
Yeah, so people wake up and they meditate. Like movement for me is meditation.
Okay.
That gets my mind right in the morning. So like I'm living, eating, and breathing everything that I'm telling you, everything that we share with our membership. Like I've been doing this for 15 years plus. Like I'm pretty dialed in there. Where I struggled personally was like, you know, I just couldn't get my act together in relationships. Like I just was like, you know, I wouldn't say like I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I've definitely done some things that I'm not proud of, but like I wasn't like a womanizer, just like doing things destructively on purpose. Like I just found myself in a series of relationships where I would get to a point I'm like, ooh, I feel boxed in. It's impacting the rest of my life. I'm just going to blow this up. And I did it again and again and again. And like self-sabotage, like of the worst degree.
Oh gosh.
And, you know, it's the same thing with addiction where like the pressure builds and all of a sudden, like you see that escape valve, which you know is not good for you. And then you just do
and you would just
unravels.
Leave. You would just be like,
I would do something that would
blow it up.
Like I would, you know, just anyway.
Something naughty.
Maybe someone listening to this is going to be like, if you want to talk about what Dr. Green did to me.
I'm going to get some comments and be like, hey, I'm going to let you in on a secret.
You know, there was one instance in particular where it was the absolute lowest of the low for me. And I just recognized, I was like, I got to do something differently. And so, I found a therapist, and it was a series of synchronistic events where eventually this person was like, hey, I do this stuff outside of my therapy practice, works with plant medicine, these indigenous plants that cultures have been using for thousands of years, mushrooms, ayahuasca, things like that. And I was just like, well, I've hit rock bottom, so I'm willing to try anything. And that started me on a path over the last almost decade now, just about a decade, really learning both personally and professionally, like how these plant medicines can really beneficially impact people with anxiety, depression, PTSD. And now you're starting to see it in popular culture where they're like, people using psilocybin, like, don't have to take Xanax anymore. Like, it's literally curing symptoms. The tough part is, like, no one can make money from cultivation of mushrooms like you could from developing a pharmaceutical drug. So, like, there's a lot of, that's going to be the battle upcoming, which is, how can we get these things legalized or decriminalized, when you have big pharma who has a vested interest in, like, trying to create something similar-ish, but, like, not as effective, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've been working with groups that take veterans and athletes with various, mental health issues, maladies, traumas to places outside the US where this practice is legal. And I've seen, like, truly every time, and it's been years and years and years, like, miracles are occurring. Like, people are literally, you're seeing their brain heal in real time.
Wow.
And addiction and dependence and codependence and all these other things are just like, it's like a switch just turns off, and they're like, I no longer need that. And it's it's deep work, and it can be emotional, and you can be crying, and like,
of course,
there's people, like, because, like, we carry a lot of pain with us, and, like, we are
and
really
it's in our bodies.
100%, the body keeps the score. Like, we either repress it, which is subconscious, or we suppress it, which is a conscious, and, like, none of that's good for us.
That creates disease.
It absolutely creates disease. It's a terrible vibration that we hold inside of our body. And anyway, so that's a field that I'm actively participating in because I believe in it with the entire fabric of my being. And I do see a world where, with Monarch down the road, like, a member who joins, as you went through, the onboarding experience, we're like, hey, you're going to meet with medicine, movement, physical therapy, nutrition, and you're going to work with, the Monarch Mind team, which, you may come out of there with, like, a recommendation for a microdose protocol and, a weekly therapy appointment, just to, like, talk about all this other stuff, because everything matters. Like, when we're talking about human health, like, everything matters. I have a patient who, had debilitating neck pain for years, and, like, it just didn't make sense why I kept coming back. Come to find out, there was some pretty terrible, emotional
Traumatic
forces
things.
in their life. Separate that, does 2 plant medicine therapeutic experiences, literally hasn't had neck pain in almost over a year. Like, it's gone. And so you realize, like, for this person, they were storing all that, like, hurt and pain in their shoulders, and it's different for everyone. But yeah, I mean, as a physician, my practice is evolving to understand, like, I have tools that everyone knows, they're objective, they're measurable. And then there's tools, which is, like, literally, I'm not going to be able to help you unless I have the opportunity to sit in a room and, like, actually get to know you, because then I'll start to pick up on cues, which is like, this is really Shelton. Whatever's happening right now is not Shelton. Do we have the level of connection and comfort where I can actually sit you down and be like, hey, none of this makes sense. What's really going on? And in a traditional medical establishment, like,
No,
never going to happen.
Yeah, there's
never
no
going to happen. So, like, that's why I think the community aspect is incredibly important, because even your trainers or your physical therapists can be like, we know you, and, like, something's not quite right. So, like, what's going on here? That's kind of the nuance and truly, like, the art of medicine, which is like, I see what's in front of me, but then, like, can I see through what's on the surface to try to figure out what's going on And I don't think you can do that unless you actually have strong relationships. And that's why we wanted to, make the clubs the way that we did, so that we can actually develop those relationships with people.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely working. And I can't do any of the plant-based or any of that stuff
Sure.
because of my sobriety, but I do
We
think
talked about
it
that.
could
Bill Wilson
it could help. It is
came up with the idea for AA on a trip. So.
on a trip. Well, I have my gal that does my cranial
It's fair, yeah.
and my little therapy, and then she was on the podcast, but also now she's doing like hypnosis.
Nice.
So she'll like send me the
Breathwork, super powerful.
Yeah.
Cranios, like
all that.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I mean, all of it's good, and we're in LA,
Totally.
which is the woo-woo capital of the world, and it's fantastic, and I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's putting it all together.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to start here. That's why I came out here 8 years ago to get this whole process going, which is like, if I tried to do this in Chicago, like, I don't think it's going to take off.
In North Carolina?
No,
get out of here.
It's probably not the place to start. So,
yeah.
Of any city on the planet that this would be a good, model to try to launch, LA or New York is probably the two places you got to go. Yeah, I love being by the ocean.
Yeah, it's the best. So
I have to be here. I'm a water sign. Pisces.
Oh, Pisces. Okay.
Maybe by the water.
You got to be here. Well, you're here, and I'm on your journey with you. We love it. Clark and I are so grateful.
We are linked.
Yeah, it's awesome.
For better, for worse.
I know. Forever now. And
Forever.
no. So I'm so happy you came here today, and thank you. And I do think that there's going to be hundreds of clubs.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Believe it.
You heard it here first. This is the manifest.
Man, hey, I'm all about it.
It's so great. Okay, bye. Okay, thanks.
I'm Shelton Wilder, and welcome to Wilder Possibilities Podcast, where each episode follows an entrepreneur's journey into the transformative power of that light bulb moment where everything clicks. I call that the click. Those pivotal points that redefine our futures, illuminate paths to success, and even change the world. Now let's get